There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major and unhappy. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage, the rainy season coming soon. In your ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow, living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, the children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend, the children have no food to. There is no job, no. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you out there? Most especially, no job, no money, no cause, no glory, no help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do? There is no job, no money for hustlers. You've been rapping stories for rap for pages. Keep rapping stories about people who not too concerned. We got a lot of people in the ghetto, people on the block, people in the street. If y'all know what I know, follow me. And I'll take you to places where people are suffering. We got lame people.
Happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to serve the search of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Rabbi, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exodus Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Grove Junction on the Old Road?
Oh, no, Charles. Tell me about it.
Exodus Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of craft beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exodus Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exodus Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Exactly. When you want some more, I provide. So we start to talk. Come on, so go 20 pop. Put it to each kid. Rabbi, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist. I wanna
Good morning, folks.
in the press.
Good morning, wherever you are joining us this morning. We want to welcome you to a brand new edition of the program from the Print News here on Freedom FM 87.9. As a matter of fact, the June 1st edition of the program from the Print News. My name is Esther Daku. Of course, Wendell is now with us today. He has some kind of assignment. He has something to handle, and that's why he's now with us this morning. But I'm here, and to be joining me is our Radio LIB partners. They will be joining us shortly so that we can have all of the talks that we have to talk this morning. We have two local dailies on our decks. As a matter of fact, the online version, we're going to be looking at the Front Page Africa. We're also going to be looking at the Daily Observer. So together, let's have a great time diving into the various stories that we have popping up this morning on our feed. And just before we go to that, let's quickly recognize our sponsors, Crime Stoppers Liberia. We want to recognize Mayuba and Sons Incorporated. We also want to recognize Exeter's Best Price Store on the Gurley Street and the Old Road. Before me, I have the online version of the Front Page Africa. We will be looking at some stories from here. And the top story here says 11 indicted in country's biggest trafficking ring after Front Page Africa investigation exposed allegations bribes were about to derail the case. Okay, this is right here in let's just jump to it quickly. It says a grand jury in Monrovia has indicted 11 people accused of operating a sprawling human trafficking ring that prosecutors says lures dozens of Liberians with promises to jobs abroad before holding them captive, extorting money from their families and subjecting some victims to rape and torture. The indictment comes 2 months after a Front Page Africa new narrative investigation exposed victims' allegations that lawyers and police investigators had taken bribe payments to undermine the case. Delays in prosecuting the case look likely to give the perpetrators the right to apply for bail, after which they are expected to vanish, as accused trafficker Cephas Sidibe did in a similar case in 2022. The case is the largest human trafficking prosecution in Liberia's history. And it says the investigation show a rare spotlight on the corruption that plugs Liberia's justice system and undermines confidence in the rule of law. It gave credence to victims' claims that justice is only available to those who can pay. It also came as researchers at the U.S. State Department are finalizing their annual trafficking in persons report. Liberia has spent the last 2 consecutive years on the Tier 2 watch list. A third year could mean a cut in the U.S. funding. Leading Liberia rights advocate Tiawan Gonglo condemned the government's failure in the case. He says that if the government really has political will to act, it can, said Tiawu Gonglo, a former Solicitor General. There are trained people in the law enforcement agencies of Liberia to actually do it if there's a political will from the top, from the Ministry of Justice, from everywhere. In fact, if the president is involved, that makes it stronger, because when the president of the nation says this is a serious matter that affects my citizen, everyone will take it seriously. After the investigation was published, Oswald Tuer, the Justice Minister and a spokeswoman for President Joseph Boakai, did not respond to requests for comment, but victims said prosecutors had retaken statements under supervision of Sumo Sikutu Akwe, the lead anti-human trafficking prosecutor. According to court documents, the victims, 22 women and 35 men, recruited from several of Liberia's 15 counties, were promised jobs in Canada or Australia. Instead, prosecutors says they were taken to a fence compound in Bampoe Town near the residence of Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn along the Rapids International Airport Highway, where they allegedly detained for up to a year, beaten, starved, sexually assaulted, forced to call relatives to send money, and in many cases coerced to recruit their relatives and loved ones. Wow. Most were financially devastated by the crimes. One woman from Nima County told Front Page Africa New Narratives she has sold her farm and everything she owned to raise US 16,500 to give to traffickers. Another had been forced to lure her brother with false promises that she was happily in Canada. Now their mother was on death door, haunting days and nights by debt collectors seeking repayment for the money loaned to send them abroad. In their own anonymous decision, the grand jurors concluded that it was more probable than not that the defendants had committed the crime of trafficking in persons, a felony of the first degree. The indictment alleged that the accused willfully, knowingly, intentionally, and purposefully agreed, conspired, and extorted a total of US $124,921 from the victims between 2024 to 2025. The victims were coerced by the defendants to call their relatives to pay additional money to the defendants. The indictment said describing the act as slavery, leg practice, labor exploitation, and the indictment also seeks nearly US 200,000 in restitution under Liberia's reverse anti-trafficking law, including compensation for ongoing medical and psychological treatment, rehabilitation expenses already incurred by victims and their families, and emotional distress and suffering for prosecutors said continued long after the victims escaped the compound. All 11 victims, Bill Plato, Woe, Zikazo Gator, Preston Goldford, Maxine Wolobey, Jerome Jason, Luther Flumod, Alexander Plateau, Medellin, Topia, Shale Joining, Blessing Favor Swa, and Stanley Wolube were indicted on charges including trafficking in persons, theft of property, and criminal conspiracy. Three Plateau, Qatar, and Wolube were indicted on rape charges. An additional 11 suspects remain at large, according to the indictment. From Page Africa New Narrative reported that police initially charged only 5 of the 11 defendants with trafficking in persons, the most serious of the charges, which carries a minimum 20-year sentence and does not allow bail. Just one defendant, Bill Plateau, was charged with rape. Wow, in this country. I'm telling you. But we look forward to seeing what the justice system is going to do about situations like this. And so let's run to more stories this morning. We see this here. Bouaka raises alarm over undocumented migrants in mining, agriculture sectors after attack on mines and energy officials. President Joseph Boakai has broken his silence on the large influx of Burkina nationals into Liberia. In recent years, the country has seen an estimated 100,000 or more Burkina arrive across several counties, primarily forest area involving in cocoa production and mining. President Boakai expressed concern over the growing presence of undocumented Burkina nationals operating in Liberia's mining sector, describing the issue as one of his administration's most pressing challenges. Speaking Thursday at the opening of the 20th cabinet meeting at the Tail House of the Executive Mansion, President Boakai said illegal mining activities involving foreign nationals have become a major concern. Today, it is alarming that we have over 80,000 Burkina in this country. Some have already established themselves and are mostly involved in agriculture and mining. He said we have to find out what we will deal with that alarming number of Burkina in the country. The number is huge, and we don't want people coming from another country undocumented. It is a situation that we have to deal with. He noted that concerns surrounding Burkina nationals in Liberia are not new, recalling reports dating back more than a decade in Grangida County, and emphasized the need for urgent government intervention. The president also disclosed that he recently viewed a video showing alleged interference by Burkina nationals during an investigation conducted by Liberian authorities. I watched a video where they were investigating Burkina, who were even putting up roadblocks to stop Liberian investigators from doing their jobs, he said. The president's remarks came after a group of miners, predominantly Burkina in Bapolu County, allegedly attacked officials of the Ministry of Mines and Energy who had arrived there to conduct an inspection. The inspection was part of a nationwide campaign by the ministry to combat illegal mining. The exercise began in Bapolu County, one of Liberia's gold-rich regions, where authorities say illegal mining involving Liberians, Chinese nationals, Burkina and other foreign miners has become widespread. An inspection team supported by personnel from the Armed Forces of Liberia and the Liberia National Police traveled overnight to Henrystown in Koniga Chiefdom and raided the AB Conte mining site, arresting several individuals allegedly involved in illegal mining. Authorities confirmed that AB Conte Mining Company holds a Class B mining license, an Environmental Protection Agency permit, and a mining license from the Ministry of Mines and Energy. However, inspectors found 20 Liberians and 41 Burkina nationals working at the site, and the company was unable to provide work permits for the Burkina workers. Officials further disclosed that workers at the site obstructed the inspection on May 24, 2026 by erecting roadblocks to prevent arrest. AFL soldiers and LMP officers eventually brought the situation under control. Minister Tengbe warned against violations, addressing workers at the site the following morning. Mines and Energy Minister Wilmot Pay Tengbe said the government is determined to strengthen oversight of mining operations nationwide. My team and I are in the field to make sure that we establish full control over mining activities in this country, Minister Tengma said. He stressed that the inspection was not intended to provoke confrontation, noting that holding a license does not exempt operators from complying with the laws. We didn't come to institute violence against anybody. AB Content Mining Company has a Class B license, an EPA permit, and a mining license from the Ministry of Mines and Energy. However, having the document does not mean you can operate outside the law. You have those documents so that you remain within the law, he said. They may also raise concerns about license holders failing to account for minerals extracted from their sites. It is one of their obligations to ensure that the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Mines and Energy, knows how much mineral they recover from here, how they dispose of it, and how they sell it. If we don't know and you take it out illegally, that is an economic crime, he said. The minister condemned the attacks on inspectors and the erection of roadblocks during the operation. The team came here yesterday and asked for your documents, which you provided. What they didn't ask for was your recovery report. Since you have been digging with these massive evacuators, what have you recovered? He asked. Is that what provoked you to attack the team and set up roadblocks? Is that how you operate? I understand that most of you here are Burkina. Is that how it is done in Burkina Faso? Well, that's the question for those Burkina. Let's look at more stories here this morning. From the front page, Africa Online, we have a lot of more stories here. We have ex-Vice President Taylor, Senate Pro Tempore Lawrence urged women to stay the course in politics despite barriers. It says former Vice President of Liberia Joel Howard Taylor and Senate Pro Tempore Yombly Kanga Lawrence have encouraged aspiring female politicians to remain resilient and committed despite the challenges of operating in Liberia's male-dominated political environment. Speaking at the Women Political Aspirants Forum, the two prominent leaders shared personal experiences for preserving sacrifice and determination while urging women seeking public office to stay focused on service and leadership. The forum brought together women political aspirants, elected officials, civil society organizations, document partners, and youth representatives who renewed calls for increased investment in women's political leadership and inclusive governance. Participants emphasized that Liberia democracy cannot reach its full potential while women remain significantly underrepresented in Liberia's legislature, occupying only 11 of the 103 seats in the bicameral body, including 3 senators and 8 representatives. But let's stop you there and see this story. Cummings returns to childhood community, positions himself as new battery for Liberia's future. The political leader of the Alternative National Congress, Alexander Benedict Cummings, on Sunday engaged residents of Point Four in the supermarket community in Montserrat County District 16, where he spent much of his childhood as part of his early outreach efforts ahead of the 2029 presidential and legislative elections. Addressing a large gathering of residents, Cummings reflected on his upbringing in the community, sharing personal stories and reconnecting with lifelong friends and neighbors who witnessed his formative years. During the meeting, he discussed challenges confronting both the community and the nation while emphasizing the need for accountability in governance. I want this government to succeed, but I will checkmate them where necessary. When they succeed, poverty will reduce, Cummings told residents, underscoring his commitment to constructive criticism and oversight of the current administration. But let's leave you here and look at more stories this morning. We have several stories here to look at. What's next? Okay, that's all for there. Let's see. We have a lot of stories down here. Let's take some lines. It says, Bwaka raises alarm over undocumented. Okay, we've already brought that. And we see here, it says, Liberia triumphs at Wempo Apple Regional IP Club Awards outshines 5 African nations. And then we see down here there are more stories. Let's take a look at some of the stories we have down here. We have well, I think so far so good. These are all of the stories we have from the Front Page Africa newspaper. Let's quickly jump to the Daily Observer online version. We have where is this? Okay, we are here. Okay, we have the Daily Observer right before us. And we're gonna take important stories from here. Okay, we are here. Liberian Observer. Good. So the Liberian Observer is right before us, sometimes called the Daily Observer online too. And we have it here. It says EU urges urgent electoral reforms to safeguard 2029 pool credibility. Well, I think this is important. The European Union has called on Liberian authorities to urgently accelerate electoral reforms, warning that delays could undermine public trust and the overall credibility of the country's 2029 general and presidential elections. The appeal was made on Friday, May 29, 2026, by Idris Shedra, member of the European Parliament and former chief observer of the EU election observation mission to Liberia for the 2023 elections during a press briefing held at the EU mission office in Monrovia. Shedder emphasized that Liberia has reached a decisive stage in its electoral reform process, stressing that discussions must now translate into legal and institutional action. Time is critical for implementing recommendations aimed at strengthening transparency, public confidence, and democratic governance in Liberia. Sharia said he urged Liberian authorities to transform ongoing reform discussions into concrete measures aimed at improving the credibility and effectiveness of future elections. The EU election observation follow up mission arrived in Liberia on May 10, 2026 to assess progress made on the 22nd recommendations issued after the 2023 elections. These recommendations focus on key areas including voter registration integrity, constituency boundary, delimitation, campaign finance, regulation, electoral dispute resolution, gender inclusion, election administration, and institutional capacity building. Since its arrival, the delegation led by Shutter has engaged a wide range of stakeholders, including President Joseph Nima Boakai Sr., the Board of Commissioners of the National Elections Commission, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, members of the legislature, political parties, civil society organizations, media representatives, and the Liberia's international partners. According to Sharia, these consultations reveal broad agreement on the need for reforms but also a concerning gap between consensus and implementation. The picture from those engagements is one of broad agreement but slow execution, he said. While stakeholders accept that reforms are necessary, the urgency required to meet the 2029 timeline is still missing. He warned that postponing reforms increases risks for the electoral process and public trust. Reforms implemented at the last minute create confusion for voters, strain election administrators, and gave room for doubt, Sharia noted. The credibility of an election is built years before ballots are printed. Citizens need to see the rules, the institutions, and the process working long before election day. Let's leave you here and see a couple SAPs that are found here are been photographed. And we also have this story. It says NCCRM intensifies national response readiness over Ebola threat. Mhm. 5 hours ago, this was posted, and I am interested in this. Let's see. I bet you guys want to know what it's about. And in the wake of the outbreak of the Ebola virus in East Africa, of the Democratic Republic of Congo, where cases reported in neighboring Uganda and Sudan. National Center for the has begun strengthening Liberia's response system. The step by NCCRM followed a meeting held recently in Monrovia that brought together representatives from the Liberia Peace Building Office, the Women NGO Secretariat of Liberia, the National Center for Coordination Response Mechanism Analysis. During the one-day working session, the representative opted heavily on Ebola preparedness and strategies to strengthen the country's resilience against public health emergencies and other emerging national threats. They also elaborated on Ebola prevention measures, early warning system, public awareness campaigns, and response coordination efforts throughout the country. The National Center for the Coordination of Response Mechanism at Besman reiterated the center's commitment to strengthening Liberia's national response system. This is being done through improved coordination, information sharing, and timely analysis. Its investment also called on Liberians to be vigilant, cautioning them to cooperate with authorities at the health ministry and support community-based prevention initiatives as Liberia works to prevent possible Ebola outbreaks and to address other emerging threats. During the National Center for the Coordination of Response Mechanism regular room analysis session, the representative also discussed other issues of national concern. Among these issues were the reported alleged attacks on mining inspectors in Bapolu County involving Burkinabe nationals and a recent Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency operation that led to the destruction of marijuana plants in Ima County. Moreover, their discussions took into consideration governance issues, county development initiative, gender concerns, crime and security issues, and environmental, including activities involving Liberia's international development partners. History of National Center for the Coordination of Response Mechanism. The National Center for Coordination of Response Mechanism is a vital institution in Liberia and Ghana dedicated to coordinating the management rather of early warning systems and a response mechanism. NCCRM in Liberia was established to enhance the country's capacity to prepare for, detect, and respond to emergencies and disasters. It focuses on 6 thematic pillars. It is what it is. I think we are back and we are taking a short break. When we get back, of course, we jump to our talking point.
I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause no more food. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. J. I wonder how you make your headlines in the press they use every day. But I'm really getting confused now. And I just wanna ask you something. Is it based on what? Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major story. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major story. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage, the rainy season coming soon. In your ghetto, all the houses are full of leakage, nowhere to sleep. Come and see the widow, living in the street with her children. Since the daddy went to war to fight, he never lived to see them. The children have no shelter, oh, the children have no education. The children have no one to call their friend. The children have no food to eat. We got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you no job, no money, no cause, no glory, no help for poor man? That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish?
Okay, let's jump back. Of course, you're listening to the program from the Print News here on Freedom FM 87.9. We're going to quickly take word from our sponsors. When we get back, we will start our talking point. Stick and stay with us. Let's hear word from our sponsors.
It's about musical. There are crowds in many places. In every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take your law in. Crime Stopper here for us. Bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor. If you see a human talking, enemy you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them. Stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
Robbie, why you taking?
I said, darling, you look so worried.
Charles, I'm worried because I don't know where to get stuff for my shop and restaurant.
Oh, come on, man. Haven't you heard about Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and Smart Grove Junction on the Old Road?
Oh no, Charles, tell me about it.
Exeter's Best Price Store got everything for your shop and restaurant. And the good news is that they have reduced the prices of club beer products and imported beverages. So to keep that graduation party, wedding reception, and whatever occasion jumping till the break of dawn, Exeter's Best Price Store is that place for you.
Is that all?
No, they have for the first time introduced on the LIB market Buffalo Revive that comes with 4 different flavors: Cool Blue, Apple Kiwi, Full Red, and Fitness Orange. It's good for athlete and everyone. For wholesale and retail supply, call cell number 0770-617-575. Exeter's Best Price Store on Gurley Street and the Old Road Smart Road Junction. We are your cheaper wholesale and retail store.
Exactly. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Come on, say I'm going to 20 pop. Put it to each living sense in her.
Okay, folks. Welcome back from that break. That was a word from our sponsors, but we're back and we have been joined by our weather report man in Tunis. He's going to be giving us the weather report. And right after the weather report, we're going to be jumping into our discussion. So don't you go away. Keep your volume up and let's get the weather report. Good morning to you. Show, let's hear our weather report.
Good morning,
Hopefully, the
Esther.
internet is not going to mess with us.
Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Mama Liberia. Assalamu alaikum to my
Good
Muslim brothers
morning.
and sisters. Your weatherman, your weather report man, Suleiman Hashim
Oops.
Tun.
It
Today,
looks like we're going to have a serious issue today. The internet, I don't know.
are you hearing me?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Are you hearing me? Can you
You're
hear me?
breaking in. The internet is buffering. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I mean,
Yep.
if we're having
Go ahead.
problem,
Go ahead. Mhm.
you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Mama Liberia. Good morning, Esther. Good morning to every one of you guys, my good friends. Assalamu alaikum to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Your weather report man, Suleiman Hashim Tunis. I believe
Well, I
everybody
don't know what we're gonna do about this, but the internet is a mess, to be honest. You're breaking in again. We cannot hear anything you're saying.
Okay. All right, then let's cancel it tomorrow or tonight. Okay.
Yep. So you can just call me via my messenger or WhatsApp, either of them. Let's get the weather report from there because the internet on this computer is a mess
Okay.
this morning. I don't know, but we cannot hear you. Okay. And so, folks, we've had series of stories this morning to look at. But the one that caught my attention seriously, even though there were two stories that caught my attention, but I want us to be intentional about this 80,000 Burkinabes in Liberia. And we have been told that majority of them are in the country illegally. So now my question now is there war in Burkina Faso? Why are Burkinabes running away from their country when we all been following the internet and we've been seeing what their new president has been doing in their country in terms of development, in terms of improving the livelihood of the citizens. Yet we have a huge influx of Burkinabes in Liberia. What is the motive? Notice that they are mostly in our forest. They are not on our regular lanes. They are in our forest. And so I am confused. I want to know what's going on. It is not just about right now. Hearing series of stories from various counties with huge influx of Burkinabes in the forest. That's what we're saying. A majority of them live in the forest. They are into cocoa and some are into mining. Most illegal mining. And so now what comes to my mind is the fact that this is a country, this is a sovereign nation, and it is a wrong thing for any individual to country without documentation or without proper documentation. It is a crime. And for the fact that this looks like people are just, being, that's the thing about we Liberians. We embrace everything, whether it is right, whether it's not right, as long as it has to do with foreigners. We open our arms to them, we let them into our country. But now my biggest concern here is why are these people here? 80,000? That is a lot of number. That's a huge number. What are they coming to do? How are they contributing to our country's economy? Because I think we don't just open our borders to people, come and be liability to the country and all of that. And we are told that some of them are working with the mining companies. They do not have proper documentation, yet they are being employed. And so, yes, I want to draw my voice to the president's voice. This is alarming. our security sector needs to do something about this, because how are these people entering our country without proper documentation? How are they getting here? So if you go to a country to visit, if your time expires, I think you should go back to your country. And if you cannot go back to your country, there must be a reason you're staying. And you have to get proper documentation to live in another man's country. And my fear is that I see Burkina Faso every day on the internet. We hear stories about Burkina Faso. We hear stories of the president carrying on several developments in that country. So what is going on? Why are these people in our forest? Mostly in our forest. Are they doing just cocoa business in these forests? Because if they can be that brave, go as far as causing roadblock to stop mines inspectors from going there, I mean, make it make sense. You know, when things like these are happening, you tackle it from the onset. You do not sit and wait for things to escalate before you handle it. Today we have border issue with Guinea. From the onset of that entire incident, if we had deployed our AFL at the border point, or immigration officers fully armed at our border point, I do not believe those people were going to cross, because they know that definitely when you cross over to another man country where people are armed there, it means you're looking for war. And we saw what the citizens did. They stood up for that place. They hosted the flag and all of that, and the people left. After a while, we were told that they returned the following day. Somebody was even shot in the process. And so this is where all of this comes from. When there is an issue, or there's an issue, you handle it first on hand. You don't sit and wait to see, we want to see what are people doing or what do people want to do. For the fact that a man leaves his country, go to your country to live there illegally, it is wrong. It is against the law. And you see other countries, foreign countries, you see what they do to illegal immigrants. They send you back to your country, where you're coming from, because that is where you belong. In order to migrate to another country, you must have proper documentation. We're not saying Liberia is not open to people coming in. Liberia is a free country. This country was declared open door policy a long time ago, and a lot of people are here. They are benefiting. At the end of the day, we want to know, why are these people here? Huge influx. We follow a story like that from this very front page Africa. Was it last year? I think the beginning of last year. This very story surfaced. Huge influx of Burkinabes in the country, and we were told that a huge parcel of land was sold to them to carry on their farming activity. And so we are concerned. If these people are not in our country legally, why are they here? Why are we still keeping them here? We see a lot of things going on in Africa, West Africa. A lot of different terrorist groups. And that's why you must monitor people when they're in your country. You already do not have the sophistication to do all of that. And that's why you must be careful. You must know what is happening. Why are these people here? People should be among them to know their aim. Why are they here? Because I know for the number of years they have spent in our forest, they are marrying our daughters and all of that. We want to know. This is alarming. Why do we have 80,000? This is just an estimated number. I'm sure it is more than that. 80,000 Burkinabes in your forest. They are mostly engaged in farming activity and mining. According to them, they got cocoa farm. Is it just cocoa they are growing? We are concerned. They are our African brothers. This country is open to people, but you must come to this country legally. I think that applies to every country, even the very country they are coming from. In order to go there, you must go with document, because where are you from? How did you enter here? We want to know all of that. And just before we go to our telephone lines to hear from our audience, let's talk about this Ebola thing, because I mean, we want to start seeing community awareness. We want to see the Ministry of Health working along with, smaller organizations or organizations in the country, youth organizations, so that we all can provide this awareness for our people. Yes, we have experienced Ebola. We know what it means. We know how to go about talking about it. Awareness needs to be created. We need to prepare ourselves, or we need to start taking the preventive measures, because up to now we're still waiting for the Ministry of Health to come up with the report on the people, the 16 persons that they were monitoring. So let us be careful out there. Wash your hands as often as possible. Carry hand sanitizer. It got why I'm sitting right behind this microphone. I'm touching things here. And definitely I'm going to use my hand sanitizer before I leave this studio. I did use it before I sat back here. And so let all of us practice the preventive measure. We have people leaving the country. We have people coming back into the country. Let's be careful with ourselves, how we interact with people. Forget the shaking hands. I know some people that are tradition there. They leave you wherever, they want to shake your hands. And don't feel bad for the fact that another person who is not into shaking hands doesn't want to shake hands. This is something we're used to. But at the end of the day, our health comes first, our lives comes first. Let us prevent ourselves from coming down with anything, because we cannot tell. It is just right here in the paper. The Liberian Observer or the Daily Observer that you have to have the hard copy. Let us bucket in front of your house where you can wash your hands before you enter. Let your children know, educate them on the signs and symptoms. Educate them on to start this awareness. We are told that money has been allotted. We are yet to see people in our communities educating us. We should not wait for the outbreak or wait